In social studies classes in primary school, those fortunate enough to attend were taught that foods like konki, fufu, cassava pone, cook-up rice, and metemji are the delicacies of the African people. However, for many Afro-Guyanese children then, there was no need for those African dishes to be written on the chalkboard and recited by the class since it was embedded in them after being served those traditional meals all year round and not just on August 1. But as times progressed, the proverbial torch is seemingly not being passed to the younger generation on how to whip up these significantly important culturally ethnic meals. One woman who has been cooking African meals and selling African wear for several decades, Patricia Helwig, told Nightly News that the older Afro-Guyanese were the ones who ensured that these vital traditions were handed down.
You find that most of the families that have like a grandmother around or somebody grew up with a grandmother, right? They would more embrace their culture because she continued putting it into her children.
Helwig believes that in scenarios where grandparents are missing from the picture, the custom is sadly lost.
Some of them don't know because the reason why I think is that, okay, remember like the konki, the fufu, the kuku, the pone and all of that, that come from our ancestors, that come from the big people. And so if you're in a home where a little girl make a little girl, that culture is lost.
The key to bridging this gap, she said, is education. Whether it is through one's grandmother or an elderly neighbor or a family friend, Helwig expressed that everyone with the requisite knowledge must chip in to help the up-and-coming generation to preserve the traditions their African ancestors fought hard for.
Sometimes it's not that they don't want to, but they don't know, right? So I think that education is the key here, you know? They need to be taught some things, also other things, because we got all this KFC and churches and the junk food. You find a taste for that for some people. When you tell them like about a kanki, I don't need that.
However, despite the fact that the contemporary Afro-Guyanese may be, I quote, losing the touch and the know-how, end of quote, in preparing African meals, Helwig says there is a glimmer of hope since in the recent past there has been a renewed spark and interest in all things African.
I've noticed that people are more getting into the culture because you can freely see persons wearing the African clothing more than before, even the young people, because what I try to do is try to talk to them, right? We need to know where we come from so that we can know where we're going. And if you don't know anything about your culture, all we're gonna be is Euro. A jeans, a top, a jeans, a jersey, you know, or something which is skin outside all over the place, right? So I think that it's getting over to them, that we need to embrace our culture some more.
August 1, 2021 marked 187 years since the abolition of slavery or emancipation, which became effective on August 1, 1834. Reporting for the HGP Nightly News, Amel Griffith.